All those pyramids was not burying tombs. It was very special devices to influence, first of all, environment, people, and we believe to have connection maybe with other extraterrestrial civilizations. Same for Peru, all these Nazca geoglyphs. Now they are found more than 120, and they're all over this mountain area. Why? What for? It is absolutely clear that those are ancient technologies. It's about 5,000-6,000 years ago, but it was constructed using pre-Diluvian technology. Now we have more and more constructions underwater. Maybe some of them, like Atlantis, they have under the sea, but it's only the first stage of excavations. In Egypt, we have more than 100 pyramids, and in every pyramid, it's millions of blocks. So if we calculate, it would be hundreds of thousands of people doing it for hundreds of years. We believe people by that time, they had anti-gravity technology. And it's quite possible. We have 100% proof of this from philosophical point of view. I see big danger for all our civilization. And to me, the only way how we can move forward is.
Recently, you went to Egypt. I'd love to hear more about what inspired you to go, what you found while you were over there, and yeah, just hand the floor over to you. Welcome back to the show, and looking forward to today's conversation.
Okay, so you see, this expedition to Egypt was the one of many that I did in last years because I was always interested in history, and in particular the history of ancient civilizations, because I know that there are many enigmas. And my idea was to go to different places on the world, to take measurements, not just to watch, to see around, and to see what we would have. And let me show with you my presentation. Okay, can you see this now? Okay, very good. So this is idea of measuring energy of the environment. And we have special sensor. The sensor is named Sputnik. Idea of the Sputnik that we are using Tesla coils, so or in other words, resonance coils that are connected with each other. And when we apply very short impulse to one coil, it emits a very high signal in the environment. And this is, from physical point of view, so named standing electromagnetic waves. Those depend on humidity, those depend on altitude. So we have a special sensor to measure humidity and altitude. And idea to measure active zones on the Earth. And in particular, different situations in the environment and some interesting places. One of the first was Bosnian pyramids. Maybe you've heard about this. It is very interesting situation, and we know this due to this excellent guy, Semas Managic, who is a PhD archaeologist, and his crazy idea was that one of the mountain that he has in Bosnia, those are pyramids. And it was crazy idea, totally crazy. But he started excavation in this little village, Visoke, and he found huge slabs.
Right.
And those slabs, he claimed this is a part of artificial construction. Frankly speaking, when I came there, I was not very impressed because I've been in the mountains for many years and I've seen different constructions of this type, and this is natural. But then we came to another mountain, to another pyramid, and there it was no doubt it is artificial. So this was the first one was Sun Pyramid, now it is Moon Pyramid. And you see, in this pyramid, they have shaft, and it shows that it's artificial constructed, no doubt. They have different tiling along the pyramid, and they made open the ground in different parts, and everywhere they had this type of tiling, but different size. We don't know, of course, whether it is the whole pyramid covered with this tiling or only part, because this mountain, this hill, it is private hill. So Sam had to buy a part of this hill to make excavations.
Really?
Yes. It was very interesting. And he is very bright guy to do it. And you see different slabs of different size, but no doubt it is artificial. And on different altitude, they are different in size. So finally, he found three big pyramids. And it's interesting again. You see, we have triangle,
Yeah, the
and
geometry is quite.
it's geometry, and
Yeah.
every side of this triangle is equal.
Huh.
So it is not just because, of course, we can make triangle from any 3 points, but those triangle is equal-sided triangle.
To have an equilateral
22
triangle.
kilometers,
What's the distance?
22 kilometers every
Jeez.
side. So that's why it is no doubt that this was artificially constructed pyramids. And you see how it looks like. It is the whole road. But then later on, he did as an interesting findings. So I did many measurements over there. I've been there 2 times, and I did measurements in different places.
Mm-hmm.
But then he found tunnels under the pyramids, and those tunnels was covered with earth, so they were closed. So it was impossible to go there. And again, he started excavations using volunteers for many years now, and he found the whole system of those tunnels. And
Underneath the
it's
pyramids.
not just some shafts to get something; it is something else. Some of them they are covered with these walls.
Wow.
This again, it's artificial walls. In some places, there are big holes, and now there are several miles of tunnels found
That is
under
mapped
those
out.
pyramids. So look like they connect those pyramids, those tunnels. And in big holes, there are some slabs. You can see there, and those are ceramic slabs. And again, ceramics doesn't exist in nature by itself. It's man-made, no doubt.
Yeah.
Then I did many measurements over there, inside tunnels, outside tunnels, with people, without people. And it was found that at the top of Sun and Moon pyramid, the energy is very high. So always when we do this type of measurements, first we take measurements outside of some subject and in the hotel. And then we did at the top of pyramid, at base of pyramid, in the tunnel, main hole in the tunnel, and you see big difference between energy in the hotel outside and on pyramids and in the tunnel.
Yeah, the sun
So
pyramid in
no,
particular seems to be very energetically charged.
yes, it is. It is very high energy over there, very high energy, and this energy has tremendously positive effect on people. We did 50 people, and you see for them level of stress came down, all of them energy came up. You see it look like this. Now Sam are using our BioWell instrument for many people. He been measuring thousands of people because he offered every people who came there to take measurements before and after. And it's amazing results. People change their chakras, energy field. Uh, you see it is different parameters. So it is no doubt that Bosnian pyramids, they have tremendous positive effect on health. And now many people coming there, thousands of people. Now he had practically 800,000 visitors per year. 800,000, can you imagine? And people coming there not just to enjoy nature and to see this curiosity, but to make positive effect on their well-being and health.
How old do you think these pyramids are?
No, of course, it's artificial construction of some ancient civilizations, and we discuss about this a little bit more.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Then, then I came to Mesoamerica because in the South America, because there they have huge amount of pyramids, thousands
Yeah.
of pyramids.
Still, yeah, like the photo shows, still well constructed and visible as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so one of the most important, those are Teotihuacan pyramids nearby Mexico, not far away from Mexico. And quite recently, it was found tunnels under those pyramids. So I was invited to go to the tunnels to visit it together with main archaeologist, Dr. Gomez, and to take measurements, both on the top of pyramids in Teotihuacan and at the bottom. And you see again, this first green bar, those are measurement in the hotel. Blue bars, those are measurements in the top of pyramids, three pyramids, main pyramids. Dark bars, those are in tunnels. So in this case, tunnels had much lower energy compared with even the hotel outside. And being in those tunnels, it wasn't very pleasant. So I felt like in a dark cave. For me, it wasn't very pleasant, and it was confirmed. So we understand it's big difference between Bosnia tunnels and Mexican tunnels. Then we came, and I have this is our instrument that it's quite compact, so it allows us to take measurements on the mobile phone. It's very convenient. And you see, in Mesoamerica, it was a lot of different civilizations. Some of them we know quite well, archaeologists, because it was a lot of artifacts found. First of all, ceramics, because you know ceramics may be kept for thousands of years.
They don't really
Then
perish.
was
Yeah.
gold, and then other type of clothes, some tombs, graves. So it's very well known, different civilizations, and all those civilizations they've been constructing pyramids. Of course, from Olmecs, because one of the oldest, we have only giant heads, stone heads. We don't have nothing else left. But all other pyramids, and first of all, Maya, because Maya, it is one of the greatest civilizations that we had on our Earth. And in 2021, we did big journey from Mexico City through all over the Mexico to Yucatan, more
Wow.
than 3,000 kilometers. And on the way, we were staying in different places and we were watching and enjoying and measuring different sacral places. First of all, it was a place of Toltec civilization. This civilization was absolutely unique. It constructed very interesting images, very interesting monuments, and of course, the whole city. And we visited the city of Monte Alban. It is a very well preserved city. It is on the high altitude. And in this city, of course, I was able to do a lot of measurements. After this, we came to Mayan civilization. And Mayan civilization, they existed due to these holes, big holes in the ground, so named cenotes. And those holes, they are covered with water. And now you can swim in this water. It's beautiful. But this water, those tunnels, they are connected with ocean in the ground. And in 6th, 7th century AD, it was a huge drought for the whole, maybe several hundred years, no rains. And those water in those cenotes was slowly substituted by ocean water. And that's why Mayan civilization died just before this natural
Oh,
disaster.
no more fresh water.
And but still now we can have a lot of ancient places, like most famous Palenque, with beautiful, beautiful buildings still preserved. They were covered, all was covered by jungles, totally by jungles. And now, of course, it's all opened, so now you can see it and you can watch it. And Uchmal, a huge pyramid, about 60, 100 meters. Of course, not as big as a pyramid in Egypt, but still it's very big. And then Chichen Itza, and everywhere I did measurements. And you say again, in all the pyramid places, the
Right.
energy nearby pyramid, because it was impossible to go to the top of pyramids, just nearby pyramids,
Hmm.
was much higher than energy in the hotel.
So you can only imagine what it must have been like at the top of the pyramid as well, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. But in Maya civilization, it's impossible because there are
Secret
millions of people
artifacts
coming there, and
and
of
they're
course they are
protected.
afraid.
Yeah.
But then came to Belize.
Oh,
Belize, it's a little country between Mexico and Guatemala, and it's amazing country, amazing. They have jungles, they have mountains, they have ocean, the second biggest in the world reef. And they have a lot of artifacts of Mayan civilization. And there, it is quite possible to go there. to climb all the pyramids because
Oh,
they
wow.
are not many people. Yes, yes, yes. And it's beautiful. You see the carvings. It's not just a simple construction. You see what images that they had there.
It's incredible.
Yes, it's amazing. And you see like this. It's all very well preserved. It's all you can see and you can enjoy it. And we've been there with our friends, of course. And with there, we were able to go to different pyramids complexes. We were able to enjoy these pyramid complexes and take measurements. So you see, I put my sensor on the pyramid and I did measurement like this on the top of pyramids. So, and there it was amazing results, amazing. So in all the places, energy was very high. And even at the base of pyramid, you see, it was much higher than in the outside, in the hotel. So it is no doubt that these ancient pyramids has very special effect on environment. No doubts.
And not
And of
just the
course,
environment like it's in, but also the surrounding environment, it
pyramid
seems as well
places.
from your previous.
So it is no doubts again that it was specially created. And this is no doubts influence of a form.
Hey there, guys. Hopefully, you're loving this conversation. I'd just love to take a quick moment of your time to ask for a special favor and request. Please hit subscribe to the channel. The entire channel you're witnessing, you're participating in, you're a part of here is empowered by your subscription. It's you that powers this channel along. Please take a moment to hit subscribe. Thank you so much in advance. Back to the episode.
I can show you the last, but maybe not the least, my measurements in Siberian pyramids. It was very interesting story that one businessman decided to create a pyramid complex in Siberia. So it was his own area, and he decided to make pyramid complexes. His idea was to make amusement park or some living place, but still it was not done yet. But it was several pyramids, and the highest pyramid is not very big, but it has on the top of this, it has big, huge crystal that brought from Brazil. All was done with precise position from east, west, south, and north. So all was done like this. And this pyramid, you can come inside. You see, it's not very big, but it was like a model. And I came there to take some measurements with local people. And again, you see, the energy at the base of pyramid was much higher than the energy of the hotel, much higher. Inside the pyramid, it was different levels. At some levels, it was quite high. At some levels, it's practically same as the hotel. So again, it shows us that this is the influence of some geometrical structure. And no doubts that even little models of pyramids that you may have in your own place, like some crystals, pyramidal crystals, like pyramidal forms made from different crystals, they have some influence. And it was a study that shown that this type of even little pyramidal crystals, and even most if they done from wood material, and even if they charged with some energy, then they have very positive effect, no doubt. And I know different healing centers in the world where they use these pyramidal structures to influence people. It is very similar to different tachyon energy structures. You know about tachyon. It is, no, it's another story. Maybe next time we can discuss about tachyon energy. Yes, about same with Same, very similar to different Rife energy. You know about Rife energy, about so-named Kozyrev mirrors. So those are different structures that accumulate energy from environment, from space, and this energy may be used to influence people. So that's why it's, to my mind, it's the same story with pyramids. But then, of course, it was a question of Egypt.
Of course.
Because, you know, that's the most famous.
Almost like the crowning jewel. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So this year we had expedition to Egypt, and in this expedition we were able to visit many places. Unfortunately, I was unable to take measurements nearby Cheops pyramid. It is totally forbidden, and they watch you on every step. So there are some guards, and they go around yourself, and they watch what you do. And when you go to pyramidal complexes or any other complex in Egypt, they check your back, what's inside.
Right.
And when they've seen my little device, they ask me, what is it? I thought, oh, guys, this is my cardio meter. I have to measure my heart because otherwise it will maybe dangerous for me.
Mm.
And they look to each other, they ask, oh, yes, okay, you can go.
It does measure
But
energy.
then still, I have to hide in different corners
Yeah.
together with my friend Nima Farshid, and we did measurements. But anyway, it was
Renegade
up.
scientists.
So I was able to take measurements nearby Sphinx, but we came inside the Great Pyramid. We came to all the complexes, and it's amazing, of course, to go to Egypt. It's a must for everybody. Absolutely, because it's amazing what they have there, and this civilization it has so beautiful artifacts, not just pyramids, but buildings, inscriptions, pictures, drawings, and all the drawings they keep their color because they've been using natural coloring, and we have these colors up till now after thousands and
More than
thousands of years.
thousands of years. Yeah.
So it was amazing. And as you see, with my friend Nima, we did measurements in different places with Sputnik device. And there again, look, this is green bars, those are in hotels. And different colored bars, those are in different temples. You see the big difference, huge difference.
Mhm.
So there's no doubts that, and in particular, this from 2 to 4, those are measurements nearby Sphinx,
Mm.
because we were able to have private visit to Sphinx with our group in the morning, early morning, and there I was able to take measurements nearby Sphinx, not in the pyramid, but nearby Sphinx, and in all other places like Luxor, Luxor Temple, and Hathor temple in different places, and you see everywhere energy was very high. Then we visited other temples like Horus Edfu temple, Ombo temple, Isis temple, Elephant Island, and it's interesting that last 4 measurements, blue ones, they were done in Aswan area. And Aswan area, those are up Nile. So we took a boat to go up the Nile. It was beautiful journey. Again, it's a must to go there by
Mm.
boat, by Nile. And in Aswan, they have red granite.
Oh.
It is very special granite because a lot of ancient constructions was done from this granite. And they transported this for thousands of miles along Nile to make different constructions, to make different statues, columns, just this specific granite. And you see, all the measurements in different places of Aswan area created very high measurements.
Significantly high readings, yeah.
Yes, very significant, very, very significant. So it is clear that it's not just some place, but it is all the environment. All the environment in Aswan created by granite, it has its strong influence. That is why ancient Egyptians, they knew this, and they've been using this very special granite. But then we came back to Cairo area, and we came to the area named Saqqara.
Right.
It is not very well known for tourists, and it's quite a few tourists. But this is, for me, it was maybe the most impressive, because there they have the oldest pyramid, Joseph Pyramid. They have two more big pyramids, and you see one of them, they are quite covered because Cheops Pyramid, it lost all the covers, but this is still covered. And there you can go inside pyramids, inside. And it's a tunnel coming inside, so it's quite challenging to go there, but
Yeah.
it's possible. And there again, I did a lot of measurements. But you see, this is a huge pyramid. But when you go inside, you see a huge shaft, about 40 meters down. And at the bottom, there are only huge stone cube, nothing else. No tombs, no sarcophags, only this huge temple. Nearby, just nearby this big pyramid, there are another open shaft like this, you see in the picture. And again, you can go down there, 40 meters. And what do you mean? What does it mean 40 meters? It's 10-story building. And there again, it's a huge block, stone block, nothing else. So why? What for? Why did they?
Hey, you're Inspired Tribe. I want to take a quick sec. I wanted to share something today with you that is really dear to my heart, and it's actually what keeps the entire ecosystem around the Inspired Evolution thriving, my one-on-one coaching. So it's basically coaching that helps you live a spiritually aligned life. I coach people from all different types of walks of life. These people are leaders, and they're looking to have an incredible spiritual impact in the lives that they're leading for themselves, and then also lead in alignment to their values. Now, you don't have to take my word for it. Here's a few people that have also transformed through my coaching, and here's what they have to say.
Amrit is a fantastic coach.
In a few sessions, he got to a depth that I'd only experienced before working with certain medicines. And
he's gone through a lot of the struggles that you're probably facing.
Then my corporate banking job wasn't really doing it.
You feel like you're not making progress towards your goals.
And Amrit's been a really strong, supportive figure in my journey.
I'm more in control of myself.
I'm kinder to myself.
I actually have that vision and a purpose.
I do feel like I'm a better version of myself already.
Amazing energy.
He was easy to talk to, which made me easy to trust him.
Working with Amrit at 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning, and really I was bouncing out of bed.
Whenever I get off the calls with Amrit, best money we've ever spent.
I would not recommend him because I don't want everyone to know about him, and then I won't be able to book him. If he gets too busy, I won't get my turn.
I would say absolutely.
There's no way you can work with Amrit for a period of time without being transformed.
So if you're considering him as a coach, do not hesitate, because you won't be disappointed.
As you guys can see, there's a lot of people all over the world from all these different corners experiencing incredible transformations. I don't think, if I can say humbly myself, that there is anything quite like this somewhere else online. Most people that, have channels that, grow and grow and grow don't really focus on one-to-one offerings. I have just found that it is the most profound space where you can bring yourself in a private container and really just share what's going on for yourself. And if you want to book in for that call with me, touch base, it's www.amrit.coach/life. That's www.amrit.coach/life. There is a link in the show notes below to book in that call. And yeah, if you want to take your journey further, if you want to dive in deeper, and you really want to live a spiritually aligned life, if it's for you, please do check it out. And without too much further ado, once again, for your spirit, for yourself, today's podcast.
And there I was doing measurements, of course, but then we came to Saqqara, Serapeum, nearby Saqqara. It's totally amazing. It's a tunnel. or a gallery underground
Mm.
in stone, in rocks, carved from rocks, about 500 meters. 500 meters long.
Wow.
And you see, beautiful done.
Yeah.
So
Very
can
nicely
you
done.
imagine in ancient time with chisels, they've been able to make this? Of course not. Of course, it was constructed with very special instruments.
Mm.
And even more than that, in this huge tunnel, they have back chambers. And in these chambers, look, it's look like this, there are big granite boxes.
Ooh.
I don't name it sarcophags. It's not a sarcophags, it's boxes.
Mm.
And you see, it's huge. They
So
all done
nice.
from this Aswan granite.
Yeah.
And weight of every box, it's about 60 tons. And weight of the lid of the cover, it's about 20 tons. Can you imagine? And there are 23 boxes of this kind over there.
Wow.
And if you see to the plan of this Serapeum, you see, it's not just it's not a warehouse. It's not just a tomb. It's because in King Valley, it's a tombs. There are many sarcophags, tombs, it's understandable, but not here.
Mm.
Nothing was found in those boxes. It was clear that it wasn't robbed because there was no traces of robbery over there. No artifacts, only these huge boxes. And if you look, you see this, they are situated in very special position.
Yeah, it
This,
looks a bit too well organized. You know, it looks a bit like a computer chip or like, you know, like something
yes,
like a
it's
coil, like an
antenna.
electrical.
It looked like antenna.
Yeah.
More than,
Mm.
and even more than that, look, in our instrument, we're using Bluetooth.
Mm.
So our little device connected to mobile phone by Bluetooth.
Mm.
So, and that's why it's very convenient to make measurements. But here inside, Bluetooth signal was totally blocked. Totally. You know, I can make measurements deep underground with Bluetooth. I can make it because it's not depending on outside signal.
Conditions. Yeah.
Yeah, Bluetooth is internal signal between device and phone. Without, you don't have phone connection, but you have Bluetooth connection.
Mm-hmm.
So it's clear, it's physics. But here it was blocked.
And you
Signal
reckon
was
that's because of the
blocked.
nature of the environment and what these stones are doing?
I see why.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know how to block Bluetooth signal. We know this. And we have special devices for this. In the military, security, they use it. But this is electrical devices. They use electrical signal, electromagnetic waves to block those signal. But here, why? With granite, I did many measurements nearby other artifacts. It was no problem to take measurements. Only here, inside this tunnel, it was impossible. So it's big enigma. And of course, I didn't have any other instruments to take measurements, but of course, it would be very interesting to go there and take measurements. And again, look, those are measurements in different places. One, it is bus stop, and all other places nearby different pyramids. And in the tunnel inside the pyramid, you see those three first blue bars. Those are in the tunnel nearby big pyramid, and in the shaft inside this pyramid. You see, they're quite high energy. No problem with Bluetooth, not in Serapeum. Then other pyramids. Then next day, we were able to go and to take very detailed measurements around pyramids. And first of all, this Djoser pyramid. This is the most ancient pyramid in the world, known to us. It was the first constructed pyramid. And you see, huge energy, really huge energy. Then with Nima, we were able to come inside around the Red Pyramid in Saqqara. and take measurements in different places. And again, you see, at the bus stop, energy was 2.7. In other places, it was more than 3. The highest was inside the pyramid, deep inside the pyramid, deep underground, where they have huge chamber of 40 meters high, without any sarcophags, without just empty. And they have 2 chambers inside this pyramid. Why? So it is absolutely clear that those are ancient technologies. And we believe that those are all prehistoric civilizations.
Yep.
So it was constructed maybe in the time of first dynasty in Egypt. It's about 5,000-6,000 years ago, but it was constructed using prehistoric, pre-Diluvian civilization technology. And we have now clear understanding that it was a huge flood about 10,000 years ago. And in this flood, previous civilization was totally destroyed. So maybe some of them, like Atlantis, they have under the sea, and now have more and more constructions underwater in different places, in Pacific, nearby Japan, in Atlantis. We have these underwater constructions, but it's only the first stage of excavations. So I have no doubts that it was some previous civilizations. They had another type of technology. They constructed those pyramids in Bosnia, in Egypt, and they transferred their knowledge, their technology to other civilizations known to us. And first of all, ancient Egyptian civilization. Because you see, all the pyramids, all great pyramids, was constructed by the oldest dynasty, the first known to archaeologists dynasty. All of them. After this, it was time of turmoil, and this technology was totally lost. Then they did holes, like in King's Valley. They did big underground passages to put sarcophags, to put their treasures. It was robbed, everything. But no pyramids anymore. Why? Because technology was totally lost. It is absolutely clear, no doubts. And we have many other traces, like cuts in the stones, vertical cuts, like holes in the stones that difficult even with our modern technology to make. Plus, of course, if we look again to those boxes, they're perfect. They're perfectly done.
Yeah, the flat cuts are remarkable for the size. Like, yeah.
Size, and you see the quality of work. They are totally very beautifully polished. They don't have any inscriptions, like in typical for known to us Egyptian elements. So only one sarcophagus from 23 has some inscriptions, not all of them. So it shows again that it was constructed not to be like a tomb, not to keep some mummies inside, but it was totally different goal, not understandable. We have, of course, many ideas about pyramid principle, about why they did it, what for, but it's not, it's absolutely clear. All those pyramids in Egypt, in other countries, it was not just sarcophags, it wasn't burying tombs. It was very special devices. Devices to influence, first of all, environment, to influence people, and we believe to have connection maybe with other extraterrestrial civilizations. Because this, you see this antenna that we see here, it is huge construction. And together with all other pyramidal complexes, it was created to make some effect. We don't know what effect. We have only some ideas, crazy ideas.
Yeah, things that you posit.
It is parts of very ancient technology created by prehistoric civilization, pre-Diluvian civilization, and that was created by some special goals. Same, for example, as in Peru, in Peru, all these Nazca geoglyphs, huge drawings, huge pictures that you can see only from the air. Now it is found that not only in Nazca desert, but in other places, they have same type of geoglyphs. Now they have found more than 120 geoglyphs with LIDAR technology. And they're all over this mountain area. Why? What for? So we have plus a lot of other artifacts. In my book, this is book. You see, this book we can have in English on Amazon.com, in Spanish language, and here I give a lot of different examples, a lot of different cases of this technology that existed in different civilizations. And this book in particular, it's about Peruvian wonders, about mummies that we found there. You see, this amazing mummy. Maybe next time we can talk about this.
Sure.
Yeah, let's talk about this. Let's play it for next time.
One of the interesting things that emerged from there was: do you think these prehistoric civilizations were some form of human, or were they different altogether? Do you have a conjecture on that?
No. You see, I have no doubt that it was humans, because I can explain you. As humans, we exist in this body with this head for about from 6 to 800,000 years. Let's imagine we have a book of 800 pages. Every page is 1,000 years. So 100,000 years, because it's or 10,000 years. And then we have the whole book of this size, you can imagine. And only last page gives us description of our civilization. Only last page. So it means what people did before. Why they were just running naked in Africa? It's unlikely.
Yeah, but it also then becomes really interesting, because it seems like then there's been this, and maybe it coincides with the Great Flood and the loss of the technology. It also seems like we've lost a great sense of capability in terms of not just our technologies, but our abilities. Like when you look at some of this, like people using granite stone to block Bluetooth radiation, there seems to be a different level of awareness at play here to what we currently have.
Yes, I agree with you that, no, of course, for us, we have this type of technology. But again, another idea that people by that time, they had anti-gravity technology. That's another idea.
What's anti-gravity technology?
Anti-gravity is the way how can people create anti-gravity and transport huge subjects without weight.
This is interesting.
And it's quite possible. We have proof, 100% proof of this. You know that in 1930s, it was one guy in United States. He came from Latvia, and he decided to create huge monument to his love, because he lost his love in Latvia, and he did it. He created it for 15 years alone himself, and he did it in total secrecy, only by night, and it was in desert in Florida, and he cut it huge blocks, and he transported it to 15 kilometers. Every block was from 5 to 20 tons, every block. And now you can go there. It is so named Coral Castle in Florida. This castle you can visit now. It's a tourist attraction.
Right.
And you see, he did it himself with his own hands. without any technology. He didn't even have a car.
That's
And
unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
yes, 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 but it's proves. And when he was asked about this, he told us, yes, he told that I created new concept of physics, new principle of physics, but it is too dangerous to give it to people. So I know this and I use it for constructing this, but I would never present it to the world because it's too dangerous. You see? So this is real proof because it was done, it was totally documented, well documented.
And not so
some
long ago, yeah.
people to spy there. And there were some spies who was able to come there and watch. They've seen how he took huge stone block, 20-ton block, and he takes it by a rope, little rope, and he goes, just walk, and this block come after him like a balloon, little balloon, you see. So that is why, again, you see, in Giza pyramid, it is about 2 million blocks. Every block from 2 tons to 40 tons, every block. And the most heavy blocks, they are at the top. So again, how they did it. Of course, principle is possible in principle. In principle, it's possible. Because in St. Petersburg, we have column that weighs 600 tons. But to erect this column in 1862, it took several thousand people and 5 years. But in Egypt, we have more than 100 pyramids. And in every pyramid, it's millions of blocks of this weight. So if we calculate the amount of people, the amount of time, we understand it should be hundreds of thousands of people doing it for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
So again, we believe, it's not a proof, of course, but we believe that they had this technology, anti-gravity technology, and they were able to cut blocks and then to transport them using anti-gravity.
Because the question that opens up from here is wondering about, well, Siberia, the pyramids are more modern, but some of these ancient healing sites and these ancient healing structures, the mind can't help but wonder what some of the rituals were that were being conducted by the people at the time that were using this technology, and whether they were further enhancing the capability of these structures using their intention and what sort of technologies they had at that period to further support their work. Have you thought about any of that?
Yes, of course, of course. To me, I have absolutely clear idea, and we discuss this idea with many archaeologists, many historians, that all these ancient places was a place for inspire the energy of different people, of particular society. Because you know that in the society, it's people are maybe inspired not by earning money, not by doing business, but by spiritual ideas. All great development, all big wars was coming on spiritual level, not on business level. You know, of course, we know the different war that was fighting for power. It's understandable, but we know huge spiritual movements when people was fighting just because of the spiritual idea. And it was in Christianity, you know, that it was a lot of fighting. It was the best example, of course, for all of us, it's Islam civilization that was inspired by some great idea, spiritual idea by Muhammad, and they was able to conquer part of the world, big part of the world. And now still a lot of people, millions of people, they are inspired by this spiritual idea. So for people, for civilization, much more important to have spiritual idea than to have some business and money. If people lose this idea, then civilization is lost. And unfortunately, our Western civilization in different parts of the world, in all the countries, both United States, Europe, Russia, different countries, we lose this spiritual idea. We lost it. And that is why we have so many problems, so many situations that we don't understand where we move next step. You know, all the models that we've been developing in 20th century, they are gone. They demonstrated their vulnerability. They demonstrated that most of them, there was just nonsense, like communist idea and socialist idea. But what else? Where we need to move forward? What our civilization, our Western civilization should do to survive? Because now we have very serious situation of survival. And we have our Western, I would say Christian civilization. We have Arabic, Islamic civilization. It's different, totally different. We have Hindu civilization. We have Chinese civilizations. So again, we have several different civilizations existing in the world. And now it is absolutely unclear how our Western Christian civilization would survive. I mean, not just tomorrow, not in 10 years, but I mean in 100 years. Because we don't see spiritual idea which can inspire our civilization. And that's very, very poor situation, very critical.
Does that awareness inform some of the work that you do in the world, Dr. Konstantin? The dearth of spirituality at present in the world and trying to reignite the importance of spirituality for the collective? Is that important to you?
Yes, that's my, I would say, main goal of what I'm doing. Because as I've told you, from global point of view, from philosophical point of view, I see big danger for all our civilization, not only in Russia, not only because of this war, that war, but as a whole. And to me, the only way how we can move forward is to go to more spiritual attitude to life. Now we have more and more people who are interested in this approach, who follow this line, who want to feel more inspired, to feel more spiritual, to feel not just to live in material swamp, but to have much higher ideas. And if you understand that you live in not in just material environment, but you live in the universe that full of energy, and universe that has millions of years of development. And we are just a little part of this development. And we need to follow this line of universal development. Then we understand that, yes, we have really good way how we can move forward, just on developing our different ages to life. That's why what I'm trying to do with all our activity, with all our measurements, to prove that it's real, to prove that it's not just crazy ideas, that it's measurable. And for me as a physicist, it's very important to demonstrate this in different experiments. And that's why when people see this, they understand that, and then they start to believe in that they need to develop their spirit, their soul, but not only their physical body.
Very inspiring, Dr. Konstantin. Once again. Yeah, really interesting also to feel into that these pyramids are in many ways like the churches of old in some way, but also churches, but also the well-being centers, the healing centers, and also begs to wonder whether, you know, these structures being around at similar times, whether there was some form of communication between the structures, or at least the people to be able to, just be able to communicate that this was the kind of structure that would be the kind of structure that would serve as healing and worship. It's fascinating to just think about, the technology lost, but then also interesting time to be alive, because through your work and through the work of other individuals with sacred geometry as well. This stuff is starting to resurface. People are starting to really understand the power of ancient civilizations. Your work is helping us actively measure some of the benefits in these profound spaces. Yeah, I'm at a loss for words, but I'm inspired and intrigued.
Yes, I agree. I agree that now you see we all raised up in the materialistic world. We understand. Well, I was a materialist for a big part of my life, and then to come to different vision of our world, of our life, of existence, that is very important. And for many people, measurement that we are doing, measurement that are done by other scientists, that is very important because it demonstrates that yes, your pray, your meditation, it's not just in your crazy activity, but it's the way how it can change your own life. It was demonstrated that when people come through near this experience, they change their life. They change their attitude to life. And life becomes for them meaningful, full of colors, full of light, full of wonderful events. And instead of being sufferers, and have depression, they experience the power of life. So that is, to my mind, it's important. And of course, I understand it's only not so many people who follow this line, not so many, but it's increasing. In last 30 years, I'm able to see increase of people who want to be healthy, want to move forward on their spiritual development, on their soul development. And in Western society, it's really big, big movement. So, and if we can contribute a little bit to this movement with your podcasts, myself with my work and my books, then we all together, we move forward and help people to develop.
Because Dr. Konstantin, you've been exploring, ideas for the longest while now. It must be really interesting, the vantage that you're holding, the view over the last however many, 30, maybe 40 plus years, and watching how people's consciousness has changed and expanded over the years. Because, initially when you were conducting even your experiments, they were top secret. And here we are sharing some of them broadly with the world.
Yes, I agree. When I was doing this in beginning of 90s, I was considered as some crazy guy. And I was happy because in parallel, I was doing some research in physics, in quantum science. That's why I was well accepted in the university. But all the people in the university, all the professors, oh, you understand, you're a good guy, but you're a little bit crazy. See, it was absolutely clear. Plus one more topic. It was people who was trying to destroy me a lot. And still I have, if you look to internet, to my name, you see a lot of negativity over there. A lot of people who reject what we are doing. A lot of people who claim that it's all not science, it's all just voodoo, something voodoo activity. So I see these attacks on every moment, very often. But it is, for me, it is understandable. We have bright light forces, we have dark forces. We have people who want to develop, and we have people who want to keep our society in closed condition, in control. That's why what we are, when we try to inspire people to develop their spirit, to develop their consciousness, to develop their attitude to life, then of course it comes against the movement to control everything. So because you know that free people is very difficult to control. That's another topic. If you are free, it's very difficult to control you. And of course, for all the governments, it's much better to have people who are under conditions, under rules, who have masks and sit at home, than free, open people who communicate with each other. So that's not simple, But we live, as I agree with you, we live in very interesting times. Very interesting. We see this development in different areas. We see this huge evolution, and it's inspiring, of course, regardless of all the problems that we have in our societies.
You're talking about inspiration. You're talking about evolution. It is always such a treat to have you here to share your insights and just the approach to come from so much of your belief in science and bringing it to spirituality, and just championing and believing what you believe, and also encouraging what you encourage, not just for the individual but also the collective. And it's really always a treat to dive in here. And what a different conversation today, talking about ancient civilizations and the amount of time you spent traveling and exploring all these different places, collecting data, to be able to share that here with us today, so that we can recognize that there was a time when humanity actually lived dedicated towards healing and peace potentially, and that actually there's an orientation towards spirituality that can be adopted. It's incredible. And just I love just research, like hearing about the different ancient civilizations and how they lived, and what was possible at the time, and what drove them, and how they conducted themselves, and their rituals and their technologies. And thank you so much for sharing yourself so abundantly once again here with us, Dr. Konstantin. As always, it is such a treat to have you here. As always, it is, as we could see, these are travels conducted of your own fare for, more than a decade. So, thank you so much for just who you are and your constant inquiry and sharing your passions with us. Always here on the podcast. It is always such a treat to receive you. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And maybe next time we can discuss more evidences, more data about some ancient place civilizations.
We'd love to go further.
Yes. Okay, very good. So it was so nice to be with you every time. Thank you so much. And next time we can discuss more topics. Okay, very good. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Alrighty, Inspired Soul, you've made it through to the end of another Inspired Evolution podcast. Thank you so much for your inspiration to evolve. I'm so inspired by your persistence, your diligence, your dedication to your inner work to evolve. On screen right now is an opportunity for you to continue your inspirations and to keep the evolution flowing. There are a couple of episodes on screen which are two personal favorites of mine, Robert Edward Grant and Robert J. Gilbert, both talking about ancient civilization, sacred geometry, not too dissimilar to some of the conversation we had today. As always, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It helps so much more than we can say. This entire channel is powered by your subscription. And I'll see you in the next one.